Is this centered?
This episode's just going to be about, like, generational burdens.
Oh, I mean, wow. Yeah.
Yeah?
Sure.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, whew, heavy.
Oh.
But I guess that's what a burden is. We're gonna have to do this pretty quick because I don't know when she's gonna be up.
Wake up. You should share some behind-the-scenes stuff of just the chaos behind the scenes.
For sure.
Of recording.
Yeah, this will be in it if that's the case. Are you ready?
Yeah, you ready?
Check 1, 2, 3.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Okay, that's good. Hi, friend. Welcome to A Table for Two with Belle, a show where personal growth isn't about fixing yourself. It's about meeting the real you. Here we talk mindset, making habits sexy, relationships, faith, friendships, and the small shifts that create a life that feels like home to you. No fluff, no pretending, just honest conversations with your new life coach that help you step into who you were always meant to be. So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, pull up a chair, and let's dive in. Hi friends, welcome back to the table. My name is Belle Dickerson. I am your host. I'm also a life coach to high achieving women who want to start prioritizing their mental health. And this is my beautiful daughter. What, do I have something in my teeth?
No.
Oh, okay. You did one of those faces.
No, I was just checking if I have anything in my teeth.
Oh, okay. This is my daughter, Malin.
Hi.
And you actually are now, this is your third time on the podcast. Mm-hmm. You are the most frequent guest and also the most requested.
I am.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Both of your episodes in the past have been the most highly downloaded episodes. So maybe I'll tag her previous episodes in the description. Mm-hmm. But her and I were sitting here having our normal type of conversations.
Yeah.
And I just said,
this would be a great podcast. I was like, yeah. Right now? She was giving me this look. She was like, right now? She was like, yeah. And I was like, can I go get ready? And we're here.
Yeah, we are. So pardon, well, you look adorable.
Oh.
I just...
She just threw on her hat.
Yeah.
Her cute little hat.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, we were talking about this theory that I have, which catapulted us into this. How would you describe the topic?
Generational burdens, I feel like.
Generational burdens, yeah. And even when Malin said that, I'm like, wow, that's a very interesting thought. That each generation has kind of its own burden to shift and change things. But so I had this theory. Should I talk about the theory?
Yeah, talk about your theory.
Okay. So I have this theory that there should be a year in between high school and college where you choose 4 things that you're interested in for a potential career. And you do a 3-month internship in all of those 4 things within that year. But then also you have different life skill classes that go along with it. So maybe that first quote unquote semester, that first internship also comes with like a budgeting class. Mm-hmm. And then the next one, you're doing your next internship and then you're learning about taxes and how to file your taxes. And the next one is investments. I just... So that you have 1 year where you're trying a bunch of different things. Because for me and my group of friends, and not so much the guys. Are you laughing at my hand motions? Shut up. Okay, so not so much the guys, but because a lot of them went to school for engineering. And I feel as though they knew what they wanted to do. Or they just made a decision and they went with it.
Yeah.
But the girls in my group, a lot of us are not necessarily doing what we went to school for.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew my junior year of college when I started shadowing an actual interpreter. My bachelor's degree is in American Sign Language interpretation. It's very specific.
Can you do the ABCs? No.
Yeah, I totally can still do the ABCs. What? Are you kidding me?
You told me the other day, you're like, I don't remember a lot of sign language.
Yeah, but the ABCs, I mean, that I can do. You want me to do it for you?
What's tree? Isn't this tree?
Yeah.
Is this tree?
Yeah.
Isn't this like pineapple?
I don't remember pineapple.
This is pineapple. You taught me pineapple.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, that was what my bachelor's degree was in. But if I would have shadowed or done an internship before I went to school, I 1,000,000,000,000,000,000% would have not chosen that as my major. It's a beautiful career. Beautiful. But it's not for me. I am a slow processor. That's just how my brain works.
Yeah.
I really am. Like, it takes me a second. I really
know.
have to...
I know.
Yeah.
You
So
don't have to tell me.
with sign language, you have to be so quick in your brain. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a great fit for me. Mm-hmm. So that's why I have this theory that there should be this year.
Yeah.
I think it would save you so much money.
So much.
And you would also learn basic life skills that you otherwise, I feel like, don't learn necessarily in school.
Yeah.
So we were talking about that. And you responded with...
I feel like a lot of people in my generation, at least, they're millennial or whatever generation their parents are, mm-hmm. They went through very similar processes like mom, where she went to college for this. She's not doing that at all.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what she's doing in life. That's where most people in her generation fit, mm-hmm. unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But I feel like in my generation, we just have the mindset of, okay, we need to not do that. Mm-hmm. We need to fix whatever that was.
Yeah.
We need to choose, now this is what we're going to do. 8th grade. Okay, this is it. This is our calling. This is what we're going to do. Commit to that all of high school. Work so hard for that one goal. Go to college, do amazing, graduate, go into whatever field you want to go into, and do extremely well.
That feels like a lot of pressure as an 8th grader.
Yeah, but that's just how, unfortunately, how our brains have been wired as growing up in a society where it is built on, I don't really know how to describe it, but it's like it's built on pressure.
Yeah.
Our whole society is built off of pressure from others on who they want us to be.
That's a really good point.
And I think I love this quote. I don't even remember who it's from. But being woke, quote unquote, mm-hmm. is just not taking crap anymore. It's giving a crap about yourself and people's well-being.
Yeah.
And mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is something that was very much pushed aside for you.
Yeah.
And I think for most generations before that.
100%.
Because it was a hush, hide it away.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear about that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people think our generation is weak. And that's another motivator where it's like, okay, we need to show them we can put in work. Mm-hmm. We care. Mm-hmm. We're going to change the world. We're going to fix what you have done to destroy our society. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that just goes through every kid's brain is, what can I do better? Mm. How do I learn from, especially me, how do I learn from your mistakes?
Yep.
Because that is something that you have taught me, very much so, which is, I'm going to have the best husband in the whole world. like the things that I've seen in my lifetime and like the things that I've learned from you and like everybody else that like around me. Mm-hmm. Whew, my standards are so high.
Yeah. That's good.
I know. But it's just like, are you ready to raise? I feel like my generation, our boys are going to be the best.
You think?
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like not like the older Gen Z parents, but like the younger Gen Z parents when they get older. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're just going to be so well-mannered. They're either going to be absolutely insane and have no respect for anyone, or be the most respectful, gentleman people ever.
I actually think that's very accurate, that there's going to be kind of a hard line.
Yeah.
Where either you're being raised by parents, like let's say for me, who I've invested in therapy.
Yeah.
I've really invested in my own personal growth. I ask myself a lot of questions. I'm not the perfect parent. In fact, that's something that I'm working on right now, is I'm slightly struggling with parenting a teenager. I feel like I was a really good mom to you growing up.
Yeah.
And I have really struggled in the transition, you becoming a teenager. And so that's something that I know. I told Ryan that it's not your fault. It's my fault. Not even my fault. It's really nobody's fault. I just don't think they really tell you how you have to change as a parent. Mm-hmm. And what that shift is like, going from parenting a little girl who's like your mini bestie to a teenager who's kind of figuring out how to be herself. I wasn't prepared for that. So anyways, I want to go back into therapy for that specific reason of becoming a better parent to you now, and working on my reaction times and all that kind of stuff. But you either have that parent who's done the therapy, is very self-aware, working on herself, wanting to change, or and then those kids that are raised by that person who also cares about other people and that kind of thing. And then you have the other type of parent who's like not going to therapy and doesn't really care about people.
Like you're just describing my parents.
I actually wasn't intentionally. I literally was not intentionally. But I'm just thinking about the parents who are going to raise those harsh, which will future harsh men. Mm-hmm. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
When you're saying either they're going to be like really incredible guys, or the complete other end of the spectrum.
Yeah. So I personally think, like for me, I know that like as a parent, when I am a parent, I feel like I missed out on a lot of things growing up, and I was just like, not that this is your fault, but I was just like assumed to know things that I was never taught.
Like what?
Like, this is so random. And like, guys, you gotta give me a break here. My dad is a clean freak. He doesn't trust me with anything. I was never taught to do this. Clean dishes. Like, I know that's just like basic knowledge, but I struggled for a little bit just because, like, my whole life, like, Dad has always done my laundry. Dad has always like done all of this for me. And I think when I'm a parent, I'm very much going to be, I'll do that for you when you're little. Because that was just, like, so safe for me. Especially as a little kid.
For sure.
I think I'll definitely do that when they're, like, younger. But my main rule in my household is you make the mess, you clean it up. You take your own dish and you put it in the dishwasher. You clean the pantry because you made it a mess.
Yeah. So you want to be able to teach them?
I want to be able to teach them life lessons that I wish I was taught at a younger age. I want them to be very confident in themselves and their decisions and their opinions.
Yeah.
I always want them to feel validated because I know a lot of teenagers do not feel validated by their parents.
Yeah.
Because they're constantly being judged. Or even if they're not, you're a teenager, you feel like you're being judged.
Yeah.
You feel like everything around you is going to crash and burn. Because that's hormones.
Well, yeah.
So, and this is like a hard topic, especially because a lot of kids go through the generational thing where they look up to their parents and they think, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and everyone kind of goes through that of looking at What do I not want to do?
Yeah.
What did they do? What did my parents do that I don't want to do? What did my parents do that I do want to do? Because even though I think most people that listen to this podcast know my history with your dad and the struggles that we've had there. And no matter what my opinions of him are, who he is as a human being, there are some things that are positive about him that you'll be able to take.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you can do that with any situation, right? You can always look at any person, any situation, and very rarely are you going to find something where you can't take anything good from that person or that situation or circumstance.
I really hate to do this.
What?
But I'm sorry. I'm going to make a Gilmore Girls reference. I feel like the contrast between Emily and Lorelai's relationship is very much evident in how Rory was raised. Because
Tell me more. What do you mean?
Like, Emily and Richard were very, you're going to do this, you're going to be in this box, you're going to be...
Yep.
Like, you are stuck here.
Yeah.
This is your life.
Yeah. You're a Gilmore.
You're a Gilmore.
Yeah.
This is what you do. This is what we do. To the point where it was rebel, 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 rebel.
Yeah.
Then it got to the point where she had her own child and she was like, I'm going to change everything that my mom did. Because I hated growing up there. So she had the quote-unquote good kid. Rory, hate to say it, I love her so much. She's a spoiled brat.
Yeah. Which you can sort of, if you watched the newer Netflix series that they continued on.
Yeah, she's not doing well.
She's not doing well, yeah.
She's not doing well in life.
Yeah.
Because she was handed things. And I think that was definitely a positive way of them to grow up. But I think there much more needed to be the mother-daughter relationship.
So what I'm hearing you say is that the pendulum, you know the pendulum swing?
Yeah.
Sometimes what happens is if we have this extreme over here, we want the pendulum swings all the way over to the other side. And there are problems that are on either extreme. And the better thing is to figure out what is your middle.
Yeah.
Where, okay, this is some of the things that I liked about my parents' generation. These are some of the things I really didn't like. And then this is where I'm going to meet in the middle. And I'm going to pull from the good and the bad and make my own version of it. So at the beginning of the episode, you mentioned like this generational burden. Why couldn't I think of the name? Generational burden. What do you think is for your generation? What is a burden or some of the burdens? You mentioned the school thing.
Okay.
Which I do kind of want to get back into that.
It's crazy to think, I'm just going to use this example because this is one of my favorite examples to use. This right here did not exist 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years ago. This did not exist. This has evolved. This has changed. This has gotten so much better. Our kitchen, we have a microwave. People didn't have that a very long time ago. So much has changed, and at this century, the most has, technology has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Like, we have evolved more than any other time in the rest of the history of Earth.
Yeah.
Something that is very unfortunate is the fact that school has practically stayed the same.
Yep.
We sit in desks with a chair. Teacher sits at the front. She teaches the class.
Yep. So I recently watched this podcast episode that was absolutely fantastic from the Diary of a CEO. And he interviewed Daniel Priestley, who's fantastic. And he talks about this a lot, that's one of the biggest issues is that school was created for the industrial age where, you're at the desk and you graduate school, you get your job, and that's just like what you do. And he says nowadays we're in a digital space where it's not as traditional as it used to be. So that's incredibly true that so much has changed in our in America over the last 100 years, and school is exactly
the
same, which is kind of wild when you think about it, which I think as parents, a lot is on us to help our kids, like even explore podcasting. Or I love that you've kind of learned how to edit a little bit, and you're on CapCut and you're doing all of these other things that I think are really cool. You've even talked about creating your own online course for kids of divorce and all these other things that, because I'm kind of in this world, you see the opportunities that are in that world. But my question though, wait, what were you going to say?
No, like you go first. I'll explain later.
So then why do you feel like there's still this pressure as an 8th grader to know exactly what you want to do and then go to college? Do you think that there is something different? Like maybe everybody shouldn't have that path?
I think there is a fear of becoming our parents.
Well, yeah, for sure. Always.
Everyone has that.
Yeah.
But with us, it's especially strong.
Okay, tell me more.
I think, it's just me, y'all struggled.
For sure. Well, I also...
This is not just
I was a single mom, and I really did struggle.
I know. This is not just you. This is everyone.
You think?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Like, you know my friend's mom, who's a huge part of the Department of Education? She struggled. A bunch of my friends whose parents are lawyers, they struggled. People who are doctors, one of my friends, her mom just became a doctor. She went to school for, I don't know, something really random. Now she is a doctor. Like, like, it took her, like, 20 years to get here, but she's here.
So people are going back. Like, are you thinking that my generation, we got out of school, we did the thing that we quote unquote were supposed to do, and then we realized we didn't actually want to do that, so we shifted. So we're figuring out what we want to do later on.
Now.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a huge fear. Or that's just like programmed into our brain, where we saw struggle, we saw pain, and we're just like, oh, that's bad.
Interesting.
That's bad. Or like, the thing that I was going to say earlier was, I think that a lot of kids who have seen just so much, like we went through a lot of crap. I'm so excited to tell my kids, well, you know, I was in a global pandemic for 2 years, so you're going to live. You're going to be fine. You're okay. You're okay if you got to take a math test today. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm excited to whip that card out as a parent. Like, that's going to be like the top tier. Like, you guys don't even have that. Like, you guys might have the mental problems, but we got the global pandemic and 8 years of Trump.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I know. I'm so sad.
We have 8 years of a Trump presidency and a global pandemic.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Yeah. Well, I think millennials, we have definitely gone through some stuff. We had 9/11.
Yeah.
We have had a tremendous amount of school shootings and like lots of I think a lot of trauma collectively, and then going through the pandemic as a parent with young kids has also been. So no matter what, every generation is going to experience a lot of I think trauma in their lives, especially if you're in the United States.
And like they're just like the 6th graders. They were in kindergarten.
Oh yeah.
They have no like
they're behind.
Those are the years.
Yeah.
Like kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. They might not do anything for your later career in life.
Yeah.
But they set you up. Like, that is your building blocks.
Yeah.
Everything starts then. That's what's stacking you up. And I think they missed out severely on that.
For sure.
They have no building blocks.
Yeah. So my fear then with your generation is that overcorrection, that pendulum swing where you do feel that pressure to decide like what the heck you want to do with your life in 8th grade, because that's not super realistic. So much of growing up and figuring out what you do want to do with your life and some of those big purpose questions, they can only be answered, not only, I'm sure there's exceptions to this, but as you go through things and as you grow up and experience life, some of what you go through is the thing that pushes you in that direction. I don't think I would have ever, I don't think I could have come to the realization when I was at your age, oh, I'm going to be a life coach and I'm going to help women, single women, so they don't end up in narcissistic relationships. Like, right? You can't really plan some of those things. So my fear and what I'm saying is, I hope that you guys can figure out that you don't have to do this hard pendulum swing to the right or to the left, but instead maybe take that year off. And that's what's different for y'all, is you take that time, or even junior and senior year of high school, where you do some internships and you put yourself in positions where instead of having some crazy fun summer, you're doing internships in different areas that you potentially are interested in.
And another thing that I personally think is crazy, I do think some of these people are going to go into what they're thinking about now.
Really?
Yeah. Just because there's also, along with your part where it's just like, you don't have to know, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
There are other parents who are like, you need to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, you got to figure it out, kid.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, so you have to.
Right.
Or, I had it figured out, why don't you?
Yeah. That's true.
Just because they were successful, because they had a wealthy upbringing.
Yeah, and there's also the cultural aspect too. You know, some cultures really push, the medical field or being a lawyer or being an engineer, and anything else would be failure to that culture. And so there's so many different elements of this, but I do hope that y'all's generation, one, that you continue to embrace mental health therapy and investing in those things for yourselves.
For sure.
But also, too, that you're just keeping that awareness of, okay, I don't want to totally swing the pendulum to the other extreme.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you think your generational burden is?
I think the millennials I think our burden was, we kind of had one foot in our later years, one foot in like the digital space, but the other foot, we also grew up with no social media, and for the most part, like I didn't have social media until college. So we grew up being outside and hanging out with our friends and doing all that, and then we also have, what
do you think your generational wealth is that you passed on?
Well, wait, let's do the burden piece first. The general, okay. So the burden, I think, is almost this confusion of which world am I in. And I think we also got really caught up in the comparison game. So I guess I would kind of say the burden, I don't know, my initial gut feeling is just that the confusion between what world we're stepping into. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I think that if I thought about it more, I would have a different answer.
Yeah.
Because that's a really good question as far as ours. I'm actually curious, what do you guys think would be our generation as millennials? What is our generational burden? The other thing I personally feel burdened with is the mental health space.
Yeah.
And trying to make that
go away.
No, I want people to have awareness of it. My parents and my parents' parents, there was a mentality of you only go to therapy when you are
crazy.
insane. Yeah. Or spiraling, or, you know, like, oh God, your daughter's in therapy. You know, like I felt almost this embarrassment around it. Mm-hmm. So I think for me, that burden kind of became, oh, I want to make this a more common thing. Mm-hmm. And for mental health to feel like a safe space and not a place that you only go to when you're spiraling or about to jump off the edge.
Yeah. The reason that I worded it like wealth, like when I asked you what's your generational wealth, I said that because if it's a burden, it was like the first thing that popped in my head was the opposite of that is wealth.
Yeah.
So what do you think your generation that was positive was passed on? Is there any? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I think maybe the burden is also part of the wealth in that we still remember the world without all the technology. Mm-hmm. And there's so much beauty in that. Mm-hmm. There's so much that I miss. Mm-hmm. And that I almost sometimes get sad that you don't have that. Mm-hmm. When you look at my generation, what do you think would be the wealth, the generational wealth?
I think you made a good sacrifice for us. I think you took the bad fashion years. I think you took them.
We're going fashion?
Yeah, the early 2000s were
terrible.
Some rough time.
Terrible. But yo, in Target, I saw tank tops that looked just like the tank tops that I wore.
Wait, what?
In the early 2000s.
What do they look like? Because
they
might be cute now.
They were like silk, but like little lace kind of here and like lace here. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You think those are cute now?
No, I think if they're done properly.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyways, I saw them at Target and I was like, no.
But 90s.
But terrible hairstyles. Terrible hairstyles. The bump.
I was about to do that.
You were about to, oh my gosh, that was so bad.
Those like zigzag things are apparently the most painful things ever.
Yeah. So many bad fashion. But you guys are going to have your bad fashion too. Trust me. It always happens.
The Victoria's Secret.
Oh, yeah.
That era.
Oh, yeah. Pink. Victoria's, like all
yeah.
Bad.
The juicy.
But that's not our wealth.
Tracks.
That's not the generational wealth.
Yeah, but you helped us out with that.
Oh. So is the generational wealth what helps the next generation? Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it is our openness to mental health. And also, I will say, the first person that comes to my mind is my friend Pyle, one of my friends who just recently quit her teaching career, and now she's in content creation, and she's killing it. And she's doing it based off of, well, one, fashion and skincare, and she's passionate about makeup and all of that, but she also has 2 boys, and she started this series and how she's not raising dusty boys. Like, she's going to be raising boys that help around the house and don't see things as women do this and men do this. Like, you know, very much so your father has that mentality, right? And I'm hoping that the men that come out of your generation, that's broken.
Yeah, because the guys in my generation do still have that going on.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying.
Yeah, for sure.
To, like, who says women belong in the kitchen anymore? Like, shut up.
I know.
Nobody cares what you think.
It's very true.
Like,
it's very true. But so she has all these really cool series on, you know, teaching her sons how to bake and how to cook and how to clean and how to, like, they even talk about, you know, women's periods and when your friends are going through things, to break that stigma of men do this, men don't help in the kitchen, men don't cook, men don't do this, men don't do that, da, 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 da. You know, she paints her, if her son wants to wear nail polish, then she paints and they do nail polish together.
My cousins were very much raised in a home where they are very safe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my aunt, and especially my younger cousin, he always has, like, pink nail polish on. Like, but then again, he's a boy. Trust me, he's a boy.
Yeah.
But, like, his favorite color is pink, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's not, females do not own the color pink.
Exactly.
And he likes unicorns.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, he likes dinosaurs. Like, I remember I was shopping for his, like, second birthday or something. He was in a phase where he was obsessed with unicorns, okay? Like, they were his whole room. He was loving it. And we were getting him a birthday gift. And I was like, we should get him this. Because it was like a little unicorn figure. And I was like, well, he just broke his other one. Because I know what's going on in their life. I was like, yeah, he just broke his other one. We should get him this one. He'll be happy. And my dad goes, no, let's get him a shark. Like, it's not that important. He's 2 years old.
Yeah.
He can like a unicorn.
Yes, for sure.
I don't understand just, like, what goes on in his brain that's like, ew, girls are supposed to like unicorns. So what if he's a 2-year-old boy and he likes unicorns?
Exactly. Yeah.
Who cares?
So maybe your generation will kind of continue that, hopefully. I hope. But,
And not all boy theater kids are gay. Just saying.
True. Malin is in theater. She is a theater girl. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I call myself a theater kid, but
Theater
girl,
kid.
Same difference.
Well, yeah. Oh, shoot. Should I have gotten your shirt that I made, Theater Kid?
No, I like theater girl.
Oh, okay.
I like it. It's
Okay.
more it's more gender specific.
Oh, yeah.
For me.
For you. Yeah.
I like it.
So, I don't know. What are you taking away from this conversation?
You always ask this question.
Yeah, I know.
I never know what to say.
Okay. Well, if nothing jumps out at you, it's okay.
I think I learned a bit more about your point of view from your generation. Because I know what my generation thinks.
Yeah.
It's fun to know your point of view.
Do you feel like you got to express enough of what your generation's views are?
Yeah.
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 Do you think your generation is more or less political? Because I feel...
more.
Yeah, because
For sure more.
I didn't know. I actually remember when you were really little and you're like, Mom, Dad would absolutely hate to find out that I'm a Democrat.
Yeah.
And you were like 7.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Democrat.
Yeah, but it's so interesting to I never thought of those things when I was a kid. Is it because of social media that we know so much? Because when I was growing up, I didn't know what executive orders that the presidents were signing, and now it just feels so in your face.
I think, yes, social media, but also the fact that we've kind of woken up to the point where, unfortunately, the president has become more like a bigger thing than it was before, I feel like. Do you agree? I feel like it reaches a bigger audience now.
Well, I think because of social media.
Because of social media.
Because otherwise, if you didn't either read political magazines or read the newspaper or watch it on television, I mean,
it's
we
definitely
weren't
more accessible now.
Yeah, I wasn't a kid and reading or watching the news necessarily.
And I also think it has a larger impact on us.
Yeah.
Like now, and we're like learning about it, like in school. And I think a lot of our teachers are more of just like they grew up not knowing what was going on, so they're like, you got to know what's going on, kid. Like,
yeah.
This is what's happening.
That's a good point.
And I think also kids are way more passionate about it because it's like, it's our life. Like, I feel like we're more recognizing of it, of like, this is our country. Like, this is what's going on right now.
Yeah.
I think that's another way that it's just like, fix it.
Yeah, that's true.
Put it back together. Put the puzzle back together. Stop polluting our earth.
Yeah.
Stop destroying coral reefs. Like, put it where it belongs. Like...
Mm-hmm. Do you think collectively you feel that as a generation?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Because we've just, like, especially with social media, we've just, like, watched our planet slowly decay. And, like, getting worse.
Yeah. So interesting. Because I also... Does it feel as divisive and divided as it does for us? Like, for our generation, when I'm on social media, especially for some reason, this election has felt so
very
divisive. You feel that too?
Yeah. I think you're either very strongly, you were just like, yeah, Trump is an idiot. I would not have voted for him. Or it's like, Trump is like the best thing to ever happen in this country.
Yeah.
It was one of the two.
Yeah.
Like, you're not in between. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
And I feel like, oh my gosh, the day after the election, walking into school, the tension was like really thick.
Really?
You were either on one side of the class or the other.
Yeah.
You were either...
So interesting, in middle school.
Yeah. Did it stop filming? Has it not been filming this whole time? Have you
just kind of we'll record a closing and hopefully oh my gosh. Guys, our recording ended and I think we just talked to ourselves for 40 minutes. But we're praying that is actually not the case. I don't know when it ended for us. But anyways,
we had a good talk.
Yeah. I hope people, you got Oreos all over your mouth.
Oh no. The brand is it's in the frame.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Sponsor us. No, just kidding. I'm not being sponsored by
please.
Trash.
No.
And sugar.
No. Oreo sponsor me. Please.
Oh my goodness. Please. Well, I think if anything, I would encourage you, if you're a parent and you have a teenager, is to have, if possible. Well, is it hard for parents to have deep conversations with their teenagers? I know you and I are pretty unique. Maybe just not for the last few minutes.
I don't feel like we're that unique.
You don't think we're unique? Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah.
I think some kids are scared.
Mm-hmm.
But I think kids talk to their
Parents?
All
right, well, that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to know in the comment section what you guys think our generational burden is as millennials and also the generational wealth that we've provided for the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
And any thoughts that you guys have too on your generation, which is what again? Gen Y? Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Y is older, right?
I think you're
Gen
thinking
Z.
of Gen X.
Gen X?
I think that's what you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Because then isn't it baby boomer, Gen X? Or what is...
I don't know.
I think it's baby boomer, Gen X, millennial, us.
We'll have to look that up. I'm not really sure.
Then Gen Alpha, then Gen Beta.
Oh, man. What's June?
Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha.
Oof. She's associated with not the theater kids, with the Sephora kids.
Really?
She's in the Sephora kid generation.
Oh my gosh, no, she's one.
She's in the Sephora kid generation.
Oh my gosh, no.
Because Gen Beta started this year. 2025 is Gen Beta.
Oh, okay. Gosh. So she's at the cusp.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I wonder what the Gen Beta's, big thing is.
I don't know. I really don't know.
What are baby boomers? Are they the World War II generation?
I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know.
And then your generation is the 9/11, and my generation is the COVID
pandemic,
kids.
yeah.
And then the Gen Alpha kids are the Sephora kids.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna be something else. It'll change.
For now they're the Sephora kids, and then I wonder what Gen Beta is gonna be. Oh.
Who knows? Well, thanks, Malin, for being at the table with me. Third time's the charm.
3 different tables.
3 different tables.
3 different tables.
That's right. Bye, guys. This was so millennial of me. What's yours? Oh my, I hate it. I don't like that one. Oh, come on. So appropriate for our ending.